has been absolutely wild here this fall.
A little while ago, we filmed a video where we were talking about what we missed about the city.
Yeah.
It didn't quite go that way. It kind of went in a different direction, but I figured it would also make for, pretty good discussion about what are some of the, surprises we've had out here since moving to the country.
Yeah, so we touched about it a little bit in the last video, but for me, I really enjoy our new connection with nature. We're not even that far out of the city, and we knew there'd be wildlife, but I didn't think there would be coyotes strolling up right near the back of the house, moose walking, 20 meters away in their whole little moose herd.
Yeah, not only a couple moose, we had the 4 come through all at once that day.
Little moose herd.
The porcupine on the day we moved in, just wandering across the driveway.
That little waddler.
It didn't matter that I think, we were all here, my sister, my brother-in-law, Corden was, everyone was around, and it just didn't care.
Just out here.
A lot of animals, and not just, they're out here, and you always know they're out there. We spend a ton of time out in the backcountry, in the mountains and that, and they're around, but they are in the yard every day, and it's kind of interesting. It's just been, I wasn't expecting them to be that close, I guess.
No.
So for me, one of the biggest, not surprises, or one of the unexpected things, you kind of knew it might happen, but it's been equipment. We had a pretty decent plethora of stuff in the city.
Yes.
We had a little wood chipper. I've had a chainsaw for 15 years. We had the push mower.
Yep.
None of it worked out here.
No, not a single thing.
We spent 1-2 hour stretch with the little electric wood chipper trying to chip up some.
We got 4 branches through it.
Yeah, and it just didn't, it doesn't hold up, so we ended up buying a new wood chipper that could handle up to 4-inch branches, and maybe we'll do a video on that piece of equipment at some point in time, but it's been really important to us as we've cleaned up the yard and gone through that. I've made a couple videos on buying a new chainsaw, right? It really became needed just for not only going and getting firewood for sitting by the fire, but also just to clean up some of the dead and dying trees around the property, as well as that really horrible Manitoba maple that's growing into the side of the house.
Yeah, make that be gone.
So, and then the mower, I guess. A push mower on 2.5 acres of
illogical.
grass is sort of illogical. So,
Very illogical.
That was the one thing I really expected, was buying some sort of riding mower.
Yeah.
But equipment's been an interesting one that, nothing from the city really translated to working out here.
Yeah, and taking your little talk about yard work and segueing into, there has been a lot of chores. More chores than we're used to on our property back when we were in the city.
At a different scale,
At a different scale. But I think you had a really nice thought when you were talking about how your chores don't feel like chores anymore out here, right?
Totally.
There is a much bigger sense of accomplishment. Chores are not chores. They're more fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's necessarily to do with the fact that, for example, in the city, I would blow snow with the big backpack blower, and I would be out for about an hour, and it was often in the dark, and it wasn't great. You're by yourself with a loud machine with, earmuffs on or hearing protection, and it was something you had to do. Whereas now plowing snow, admittedly driving the tractor,
you cheer for it to snow. Let's be honest. You're
genuinely,
come on, I want more snow.
I enjoy driving the tractor, but I think also the kids are all usually outside, dogs are outside. It's more of a family activity. Chores in general are just more of a family activity. Everybody gets involved, and you get that sense of accomplishment when it's done.
Yeah. One thing most of you probably don't know about us is we're both scientists by training. That is our background. And one of the things I really appreciate about here is it's like one giant science experiment for us. We don't know what's going to work, so everything is trial and error. How do we plant this on this large of a scale? Well, let's try this system and this system and see which works better. And I get a lot of fulfillment out of that. I find it really exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknown with the garden next year. We've grown and raised beds for over a decade with a lot of success. We produced a ton on our small lot in the city, but it's very different planting 10 tomato plants in a greenhouse, the one you can kind of see behind us, versus a 50-foot outdoor row, and how they're going to produce and how they're going to fare.
A 50-foot outdoor row with moose and deer and rabbits and porcupines and who knows what else. We didn't have any of that in our yard.
Well, we had a fence. And we'll have a fence here, but yeah. And I guess with that comes a sense of personal growth. Again, learning new things, tackling new challenges. There's not always the option to, turn to a neighbor or turn to a friend or something like that to figure it out. You just have to figure it out. I mean, for me, the tractor's been probably the biggest one, is figuring out when things just aren't running right, why. I mean, I don't really know diesel engines that well, but I'm learning. I'm slowly learning my way through it.
Yeah, for me, there's a lot of different jobs that I never did in the city or never tried, even though they were there, right? We used to get firewood in the city. You'd split it.
Yeah.
A couple days ago, I split my first log. It was hecka exciting. It was awesome. Like, the sense of like, holy cow, I swung an axe and made that go in half was...
You really use your hands.
So does that mean I can kind of...
No.
Okay. So I'm still doing the majority of it?
I'll help.
That's fair. I guess the last item on, let's call it the 5 things that were unexpected surprises out here, was the importance of planning almost everything.
Yeah.
When we first moved out here, and I mean, maybe some of that's to do with moving, and some of it was to do with building the sheds and renovating inside the house and just cleaning everything up. But we were making daily trips into the city. And
sometimes twice.
And you really noticed, how much gas we were going through.
Yeah.
How much time we spent just sitting in a car making a run into the city, because it's not 5 minutes down the road anymore to Home Depot or Lowe's.
And it's not hop on your bike and go get milk.
Yeah, it's a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that multiple times a day, it really eats up the day.
It does.
So we found that sitting down and amalgamating trips, so waiting a couple days till we have, enough need to go into the city for groceries, or we have a few things we need to go run, and doing our errands in sort of a bunch.
Yeah.
Versus just doing them one-off. And it's been noticeably different in the last, let's say, 2 months, I'd say, or a month and a half, than the previous couple months, where there's some days now we just don't drive.
Yep.
And that's really nice. We're not always getting in the car and going somewhere, which is what it felt like when we first moved here. It just felt like we were always driving.
Well, we know the lay of the land a bit better too now, right? We know, like, if we need something from Home Depot, this is the closest grocery store. Or if you need another tool, the dog food store is right there, so you might as well get dog food.
Yeah, I do like KMS tools.
Yeah, you too.
It's a great store. So there's been some really nice unexpected surprises out here. And some big learnings that we've had to do in the first few months, but I think we're plodding our way through slowly but surely.
Yeah, I think so. And unlike when we tried to come up with reasons why we missed the city and really, really struggled, coming up with reasons why we like being out here is almost like an endless list.
Yeah, and even the unexpected surprises that aren't maybe good, like the amount of, extra money you're spending on equipment, for example, not typically something you celebrate. Well, that's not true. I kind of do like buying equipment, but they're not bad. They're just things. They're just things.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's kind of it for the list.
I think so. Or as much as someone will want to watch about it.
I don't know how long you want to sit here and watch us, again, muse about things that are enjoyable. So we'll end it there. Thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.